A lot of YouTubers will start a video by saying, well, I'm getting a lot of questions about blah, blah, blah. Nobody ever asks me any questions on YouTube, thankfully. I probably don't know the answer to the question anyway, so look for somebody else. And welcome to another video. The thing is, I play around with my guitar, and I'm not a pro, I'm barely a hobbyist. This is just something I do for fun, and I thought I'd incorporate YouTube along with it. So I've made videos I call riff, and I've numbered them, and I skipped a number, and I didn't even realize it until the other day. So that's another video for another day, though. I've been making videos for myself and making riffs. So the first few, I would just run the mic straight to the speaker and record that. It would come out, they came out okay, except for I recorded a few in a row that I really liked, and then I stuck it into Premiere and all the audio was just like fuzz. So from that point forward, I figured I have this. This is an iRig. So I hook this end goes into my iPad, this end goes into my guitar, in this case the ESP LTD. This is the LTD Vulture, not the ESP. That's a lot more money. So this plugs in to my iPad, this goes into the guitar, and with that I can record the guitar. It sounds better. I have more options as far as amps and speakers. And what I'm going to do, let's do this. I don't know why I moved over 3 inches. What's wrong with me? Let's put the video here. So this is Amplitude. So I'm going to be looking up and down. So that's just the way it's going to be. So this is Amplitude. Right now this is a Mesa Boogie setting. The thing about Amplitude, let's get into Amplitude first. Amplitude is a nice application, but they nickel and dime you. The app costs $20. This is the Mesa Boogie amp and speaker set. That's another $20. They nickel and dime you. That's licensing. I understand that, but maybe incorporate that into the price more. I don't know. I don't know how to price apps, but I know when I'm getting nickel and dime for everything. Like for instance, this. Let me show you what. So this is a Mesa Boogie speaker. What I want to do? Let's say it's mic'd here. So if I say, oh, well, I want to buy another. I want to change mics. We'll buy the mic bundle. $9 for that one. If you want to do the whole thing, it's $20. So if you did that on top of what I've already done, that's $60 in the hole plus tax. You're already $60 in the hole. If you're really worried about how the speakers are set, and there's a bunch of different ways you can set the mic and things of that nature, it's great. For a hobbyist, I just feel nickel and dimed. I don't know. Maybe it's just my cheapness coming out. But I did pay for that, and I paid for that and everything. Anyway, so this is the triple rectifier. There's 2 different speakers, 2 different amps that come with it. This is the triple rectifier because I found a guy on YouTube that has that was doing Metallica sounds, and I wanted that kind of the thick, full sound, and this is the one he was using. So I bought that, and I made the settings the way he had them. And it also comes with this distortion pedal. You can with this speaker, with this amp and speaker combo, I don't use the distortion because it really muddies it, and the amp does all the work. So these are really cool amps. These amps would cost upwards of a couple $1,000, probably more. I've never thought about looking at the price of these because I would never buy that because, again, hobbyist. You can also choose different types. The top one is the one that comes with the app. It's not free. The one that comes with the app, and then you can go and buy different brands. So this is Fender, Full Tone, T-Rex, Slash has it, Jimi Hendrix has it. It would be cool if there were more. There is a metal setting, and you can can change that. You can buy it's more distortion pedals and things of that nature. I did buy that because I wanted the metal drums. And that's the other thing. Drums. The thing I like about the drums is very easy to set patterns. The only problem is they're set patterns. I can tell it a tempo, but I can't say I want this drum beat at this time and I can add cymbal crashes, things of that nature, but I want to make my own drums. So the last riff I did, I just had to find an online drum machine that works pretty well for what I do. I don't need anything fancy. But for instance, another nickel and dime, I bought the metal kit. The metal kit was $5, so that's 20, 40. I think I bought another one too. So I'm almost close to $60 into this thing. Will I buy more? Probably not. I mean, if Slayer were like, hey, we're gonna make this, or Metallica maybe, then I would, but they're not. That's another thing about YouTube. I looked for videos on how to use Amplitude and ways to set the thing. Couldn't find anything recent. There were videos. The closest one I found, I think, was 2, maybe 3 years ago, and everything looked different. So it was no help, almost. Generally, everything was sort of in the same place, but the amps, the way the speakers were set up, the way the amp was set up, was different. So there's an approximate. Help, that's help. It doesn't say a whole lot. I mean, I haven't really looked around to see, okay, well, this is this one, this goes here, this just tells you on screen, and there's not really much online help. Maybe there is some. If you know of something, leave it in the description below. I'd really appreciate it, because there's not a whole lot as far as I could tell. I vaguely know what I'm doing, so I can mess with the dials. So there's 3 channels on this. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm on, it goes to the back too. So you can look at the back, change settings there. The out to speaker, there's a fuse. I don't know why they would put a fuse. I think that's just cute. It just makes it look cute. But it's this is a those are tubes. This is a tube amp, so you get that thickness of a tube amp. And for some reason, you can turn it off and on. I don't know. I guess I don't know why you'd want to do that. For me, I just walk in, plug in, hit record, and go. So let's go to record real quick. That's the thing that offsets everything else. You can record with this, and it doesn't sound that bad, actually. I sound bad, but if you put somebody who's good with these tools, you can make a whole record with this, because it's an 8-track recorder, so you can record 8 different tracks on this and have them all mixed together. There's this interface, which you see there's the volume, and you can pan back and forth. So one of the riffs I did were one section is this way, one section is that way, and then there's a filler in the middle, so it has this richer, thicker sound, which I'm looking for to try to make it sound interesting. So you can do that for all of these. This is actually a riff that I did. Let's do this. Let's go to new. So we can go to the new interface. So this is a new riff. I've been making riffs on here for a little bit now. See, it'll be riff 23. We can always change that later. So this is riff 23, save, or was it 24? I thought it was, oh yeah. So we did something wrong. I named the 23 again because, I don't know. So you can just rename it. You just click on it, you touch it once, and that's it. So that's saved. Now it's 24. Now I go in it. And there's my recording studio. You can do, the drums are at the top. You can add all your instruments here. So like for instance, this is already set up. So you have your FX to your guitar. This is the R means it's recording, mute, M is for mute. S, I don't remember what S is for. So I'm not gonna pretend I know. And then you can just go through each one, and that sets up if you notice the amp and the speaker are set up there. Your volume for your channels is here. There's your treble, and your mids and your bass. So you can go and record all of these, and it has a metronome, which is great because you need a metronome. I'm really bad, but when I play with a metronome, at least I can sync myself and it doesn't sound as terrible. Hopefully, please. if you want to leave a comment, don't. So it has a tuner. There's a tuner as a metronome, and the metronome is nice because if you're thinking of something and you think, okay, well, I want it to be that rhythm, so it'll take it and say, okay, in this case it's 215. So my last one was 130. So it'll approximate. You can think of the rhythm in your head and tap to it, and it'll set the metronomes off. So you turn it on, and it'll start just ticking. Because that's what a metronome does, right? So I haven't played around with any of these other settings. I'm going to be honest with you. The way all of this is set up, music, you want it to be precise so it'll fit in with everything. You don't want everything to just kind of go crazy. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't. So that's a basic walkthrough of this. I wanted to have something out there because there doesn't appear to be anything. Like I said, if you have some tips or something like that, or a website that I already paid enough, I'm not going to pay for anything more. But if you know of somewhere, or another YouTube video that's recent, it's 2017. The good videos that I found were from 2013, which is not a lot of time in human time, but in internet time, that might as well be, you might as well just be chipping flint. The disconnect of time is just that big for YouTube, and that's another issue for another day. But this is a basic walkthrough of it. Now what I would do, I would just plug in, and it's simple as that. With the iRig, it automatically detects. So I plug in the iRig, plug in the other end of my guitar, turn my guitar on, and I can change all my settings that way. So I don't know if this is informative, but this is at least I can say, hey, I'm using Amplitude, and maybe somebody else is. I'm crying out into the abyss, and maybe somebody can throw me a tip or something. Other than practice, and I'm not any good. I know both of those things. But either way, I wanted to at least get something out there with this. I use this app. It's a pretty good app. Is it worth the money? If you don't have the money, no. If you have a little bit of scratch you can throw at this, it really does everything you need to do, and it records it really nicely, and you can make the guitar sound better. Whether or not that's really useful for you, it's up to you, but the tools are there. I'm not going to say this is great. This is not an ad, obviously. I didn't get paid because I just trashed the thing half the time, because it does suck a little bit. I wish there were more support for it. I wish they didn't nickel and dime you. Should you buy it? I'm not going to tell you yes. There is a free version, so you can play around with it and really figure out, is this something that you want to do? But you can only record one channel, whereas this will allow you to record multiple, as I showed you before. So that's Amplitude. I have a bunch of riff videos. Let's take this down and put up the icon for subscribe, the icon for I have a playlist of riffs. So the last 3 or 4 are done in Amplitude. One of them is done with GarageBand, and then the others are done in Amplitude. So check those out here, and subscribe if you haven't. I'd appreciate it if you did. Like the video too. Leave a comment with the other stuff I was asking about, and thanks for watching.